And welcome to Pet Talk with Dr. Lee. I'm John Mondelli, and it's been a long time since we've had a show. Doc, and you got your beautiful bride next to you, Bernadette, and great to have you guys on the show.
Thank you.
Usually we have lunch, and you try and get me going, and you know how to push all the buttons. Trying to get me to get a dog, and maybe by the end of this show,
we'll be working on you.
Convert me.
You might find one.
Yes.
And today's an interesting topic because we're talking about breeds.
Just
how
that.
to pick the kind of dog, what it goes into, caring for each different breed and things like that. And I guess we'll start with you, Lee.
All right.
What goes into picking the type of dog if you're interested in getting one?
But the first thing is you have to decide basically what kind of dog you want. Do you want a big dog, little dog? Do you have allergies, in which case you probably want less of a shedding dog? Do you want a dog that requires a lot of work? Do you want a dog that's just basically going to be a kind of a lazy dog? These are all things that you can find by selecting certain breeds. Now, the main thing you have to watch, though, is you can't just pick a breed. You have to pick an individual. So when you go for a breed, you will find that certain breeds have certain characteristics, but every individual is somewhat different. So picking a breed means you're most likely to find what you're looking for. If you want a lab, if you want a big dog and you pick a lab, you're going to probably get a big dog, but you could possibly get a small one, or you could possibly get a giant one. So you need to look at the individual, look at the puppy, or if you're adopting an adult, you can see right away what you've got. Pick for what you want and make sure you get that.
And also, if you're allergic to certain breeds, are they good with kids? I mean, there's a whole lot of different things that you have to. And how do you get that information?
Well, by the way you select a breed, you can read about it. You could also go to dog shows. It's a great way to find out. The dog shows are there so that breeders can show off their dogs to each other and to select the best dog of the breed so they know who to breed with, so they can improve the breed. But it's an opportunity for the rest of us to go, look at the different breeds and see what it is about the dog that we like. Do I like the way it moves? Do I like the way it looks? Do I like the way it behaves? How big is it? How small is it? How handleable is it? The breeders are usually very willing to talk about their dogs. They love to get some attention for their dogs. So it's not a bad thing to do. It's not, I think people that don't go to dog shows think of it as a sort of a snotty thing, like, oh, I got the prettiest dog. That's not it. That's not what it's about. And they're usually very happy to see people interested in their breed and interested in perhaps getting one if the dog suits them. Or the breeders usually, when they're good, will tell you, no, this breed may not be the breed for you. This one, we'll talk about some of the breeds later, but some of them really require exercise and work. And if you aren't interested in doing that, the breeder will probably tell you this may not be a best breed for you, but here's the name of another breed that may suit you better.
Okay, and Bernadette, I don't want to leave you out because I forgot to mention our other friend on the set. Who do we have with you guys?
This is Bud. This is Bud, our baby.
I've seen Bud a couple times. He's made it in here a couple times or made it in some other things that we've done.
Bud's our miniature poodle, also a good dog for people who have allergies because they don't shed. They have to be groomed, though, but very loyal, very intelligent.
Yeah, let's talk about intelligence. And I'll ask you this question. Are certain breeds of dogs more intelligent than others? And hopefully in the next segment, by the way, I do want to mention this, we're going to bring in, I don't know, 100, I don't know, probably like 10 different breeds of dogs, and we'll talk about this, but are certain dogs more intelligent than others? And how do we know they're intelligent?
They're intelligent in different ways. Like poodles, they're very trainable. They've been raised that way genetically for centuries. They're very trainable. They're easily trained. There's the Portuguese water dog. That dog is very trainable. It was raised in Portugal. It helped the Portuguese fishermen, and that dog's a very loyal, trainable dog. Poodles, now the agility dogs, the
Border Collie.
The Border Collie, they're intelligent, but they're intelligent in a different way. They're very intelligent in herding and running and keeping active and doing things like that. They take orders and do things like that.
Okay, let's go to kids. I got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Is there a certain breed of dog I should look for with little kids?
I think some breeds do better with children than others. One of the things that you'll be warned about by responsible breeders is if you have little children, you need to stay away from the toy dogs. It's not that the toy dogs are bad to the children.
And what is a toy dog?
A toy dog would be a Yorkshire Terrier, a Maltese. This is a miniature poodle, but there's a toy poodle which is about half his size. These are fragile dogs, and the problem is children can, if they're not
Right.
13-year-old children, but we're talking 4 and 3-year-old. They'll trip on the dogs. They'll pick them up because they love them and accidentally drop them on the floor. And when they do that, the dog's legs break and they're really hard to fix. So tiny dogs, probably not so much. Dogs that are known to be reactive or aggressive, and this changes. You know, I'll give an example. The Cane Corso or Cane Corso is a very tough, big dog. It's the Mastiff of Corsica, and it's become popular in this country originally because it was such an aggressive dog. Now, I have to say the breeders now have worked very hard, diligently, and really well at producing a truly noble, wonderful dog. But when it first came out, with the level of aggression that they had, I probably wouldn't want to have children around it. But now, I will have to say that they've done good work with it. But that gives an idea. Any dog that's too aggressive, you don't want it around children.
Let's talk about the homeowner. If you have a small house or a big house, big yard, small yard, does that factor into what kind of dog?
That does as well. And it may not be the way one would think. In general, obviously, really big dogs probably require more space. So a standard poodle, which is a large poodle, requires more space than, say, a miniature poodle and requires more room to run. Now, whether you decide to run with him outside on a leash or whether you have a backyard where you can set him free, that's up to you, but he's got to get it somehow. Now, some of the breeds aren't what you'd think. Greyhounds, for example, a really big, long-legged, extremely fast dog. They don't really want that much exercise. They run a little bit every once in a while, they're done. Beagles, on the other hand, the cute, cuddly beagle that everybody thinks of as a family dog, and it is a good family dog because it's gentle and nice, they require a lot of exercise. That is a heavy exercise dog. So sometimes you have to look a little into the breed, maybe talk to the breeder, read up in a book before you commit to something, because I think a person might think that a beagle would be a good apartment dog, and they do need some space.
Well, Lee just said the magic word, so I'll go to you. Breeder. You're looking to get a dog. Do you go to an animal shelter? Do you go to a breeder? Should you go look for a rescue dog first? Is it up to the individual, or how do you go looking for a dog?
All the above.
All the above. There's no right answer for that?
No, it depends on what you want. If you want a specific breed, like a poodle or say like an Akita or any type of a greyhound. Now greyhounds, they have a wonderful greyhound rescue. You can get wonderful greyhounds from the greyhound rescue dog. Go look. Like you said, dog shows are great to get them, but breeders, you look up in the breeder directory. You can call your animal hospital, your local vet. They have some breeder directories. If you're looking to give a dog a good home, yes, go to the local animal shelter. Look at the dogs, go up to them, see which one rings to you. Sometimes the best dog that comes to you is the one that has been waiting there for you all that time, and you're going to give it a loving home, and it's probably going to be the best dog you ever found. It doesn't have to be a specific breed.
Okay. How about for the family that likes to travel, and you're going to be away for a week?
This is more.
What do you do with the dog?
Okay, there's two options. One, you can travel with the dog. The other, you'd leave a dog. If you leave a dog, you have an option of taking it to a boarding facility, which you need to visit.
Right, I was going to say, how do you know? It's sort of like nursing homes, I guess.
Yes.
You have to do your homework. How do you
Yes.
know what's a good
You
place? and
visit unannounced, make sure it doesn't smell too much. I'll tell you something. If they can keep it from smelling too bad, they're probably working very hard. And see how the dogs look that are in there, and see what the staff is like. And it's going to be a personal decision. You're going to have to, there's no definite answer how you go about it, and go by recommendations. The other option would be to keep the dog at home and have somebody, if you know somebody that's trustworthy, that you could have house sit, they can take care of the pet. The other option, if you have a small dog typically, would be to travel with your dog. If your dog is crate trained and you travel in a car, most hotels now, for some additional fee, will allow dogs to be one of their guests. But you have to have a dog that's comfortable in a crate, so you could leave him in a crate while you're off, say, at a restaurant.
Yeah, a lot of single people or older couples have small dogs like Buddy or smaller breed dogs that they love traveling with them, or even in their motor homes, and they're great companions, and they just enjoy it, the whole family.
Okay. Now let's talk about your end, because you guys obviously have your own place. You might as well give us a little plug on your business.
As a veterinary practice,
Our name.
Gray Fox.
Gray Fox Center.
I'll get it out. I was trying to, you can lead a horse to water type thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
Gray Fox
All right.
Animal Hospital in Woodbury Heights, New Jersey.
Right. And I guess, which leads me to my question. I know at a certain age, I go to the doctor once I hit a certain age, I go to the doctor once a year for a physical. Does it depend on what breed of pet you have, how often you should take your dog?
Sort of. All dogs, when you first get them, you want to go to the vet's office immediately so that they can apprise you as to what problems may exist or may come up. Puppies are going to require 3, maybe 4 visits in the first couple months for their initial vaccinations and to watch them develop. After that, it depends upon the breed. We get breeds like Huskies and Border Collies. They barely come to the office. They come in once a year. As long as they're not hit by a car or run into a fence, they really don't come in very often.
Is it certain shots? Are certain shots required? So
Yes.
Puppies get a series of 3 shots when they're about 8 weeks old, and then 12, and they get their last yearly distemper when they're 16 weeks of age or older. And we give the rabies vaccination after they're 12 weeks of age.
And just as important as that is making sure that the dogs are on heartworm prevention to prevent heartworms, which is a major scourge on anywhere where there are mosquitoes.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to look at all these breeds of dogs. So stay with us. We'll be back after this timeout. And welcome back to Pet Talk with Dr. Lee, John Mondelli. And we have a crowded set today. And in this next segment, we're going to show a lot of different breeds of dogs. We talked about breeds in the first segment. Who do we have out here first? Bernadette?
We have Hannah here. Hannah's 9 months old, and Hannah is a Portuguese water dog. Just like President Obama's dog, Bo. Bo is a curly-coated Portuguese water dog, and Hannah is a smooth-coated Portuguese water dog. She is a chocolate one. Bo is a black one. These dogs originated in Portugal, and they were mainly trained to help the Portuguese fishermen. So they would go out in the icy waters and they would actually herd the fish into the fishermen's nets. And they were bred for their intelligence and loyalty, and they're very good family pets. And they're one of the anti-allergic dogs also because they don't shed.
It's interesting that you bring that up. What are you trying to...
They don't shed.
Yeah. I'm allergic, cats and dogs.
No,
I know your wife doesn't believe me, but I am. And you did mention they're great with family dogs, so they're great with kids.
They're great with family dogs. They're very loyal, and they are good watchdogs. So if they alert the family if someone's coming around the house. But they're very good. They're very intelligent. They were bred for their intelligence. And they're very sturdy dogs. Love to go out in the ice cold, freezing cold. They love it.
And if you want to go out for the day, you can go out for the day. Dog's fine for the day.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Absolutely. Hannah's very good at home.
She's very good at home.
She's been trained. She's crate trained. She has her own crate. She goes in it. It's her room.
Rudy was here in a segment on
The laser therapy.
Okay, and you know what? We got lots of emails about bringing the dogs back.
All right.
Good.
Come on up here, Rude.
Come on, Rude.
Come on, Rude.
Good boy.
Attaboy.
You good dog.
Come on, turn around, Rude. Let the camera see your handsome
see
face. Okay, good boy.
Well, let me ask
show
a question
how
to you
pretty
guys
yours.
about bulldogs. Are they great family dogs? Are they good
All right.
pets, or is it just like any pet? You just, it's how you are with them and how you interact.
Every dog is different. As we mentioned before, different breeds have certain characteristics. So if you're looking for a certain type of dog, if you're looking for a heavy-set, powerful dog, you'd get a bulldog. If you wanted a frail little thing, this isn't the breed for you.
Now, if you have a 2- and 3-year-old at home, are these good dogs with kids,
Generally,
families?
every dog's different, so you need to look at the dog and see the behavior of that particular dog. If it's a puppy, you need to test out its personality a little before you get it. But within that, I would say this breed generally is very good for families, very good for children. That's one of the reasons why people who get them seem to keep getting them.
What's the backstory on these dogs, Bernadette?
Oh, he knows this.
Okay, go ahead,
All right.
Lee.
This breed comes from the Old English Bulldog, which was originally used for fighting bulls and fighting bears. They wanted a powerful dog, powerful jaw, somebody that would get into a quick fight and drag a bull down. If they won, the betters would win. If they lost, the dog would die and the betters would lose.
Wow.
It was a rough sport, and it was made illegal in England around 1830. At that point, they changed the breed and bred a pug to the Old English Bulldog, which was actually a bit of a tougher, bigger dog and a rougher one. And they bred this because they wanted the personality that was going to be basically gentle, but they wanted a brutish look, which they have. They wanted this look, they wanted this personality, and this is what you're supposed to get if you get a bulldog.
Okay.
They have problems, physical problems. The tight nose, the pushed-in face makes it hard for them to breathe. So they have trouble breathing and they have trouble handling heat. They tend to have trouble with their eyes.
How about exercising these dogs then? I
Ye-
mean, taking
ye-
them for walks and stuff. What do you have to
Exercise,
watch?
you've got to be real careful. You don't exercise them in the heat. They should have walks with their owners. They need to not become overweight. They need to have the mental benefits of exercise. On the other hand, you want to make sure these walks are relatively short, and you watch your dog. If they seem to be getting tired by it, you just come right back home. Some of the bulldogs are virtually agility dogs. They can fly.
Oh, he
Others,
runs around the yard like crazy.
yeah, other dogs more calm. They tend to be dogs that you could sit and watch a football game with and not, you could
And then an
share
old
your.
dog can ask you like some questions that I'm not going to say it the right way. I
They're
guess
very
that's-
happy to sleep with,
Okay,
with their chin on your lap. If you get a dog like this, though, you have to be prepared to take care of it. This kind of breed often requires many visits to the vet. Sometimes you're lucky and you have a dog just comes in once a year for vaccinations, like a Husky Mite or a Border Collie. But in general, if you have a dog like this, you've got to be willing to go in a lot because they do very often
I
require
mean,
a lot
should
of
you
care.
routinely, like twice a year, just like every 6 months, or?
Well, it depends.
does
Your
depend?
dog, if you get one of these, you might be in every 3 weeks with problems.
Okay. We're going to bring the next dog, and this is a treat for me because it's your granddaughter bringing in the dog, right?
This is Bridget.
Come on in,
Bridget's
Bridget.
bringing Mufasa in. Mufasa is a standard poodle, and our dog is a miniature poodle. Buddy's a miniature poodle.
Okay.
These also are allergic dogs. They don't shed, so people who have allergies, these are great dogs to have for them. Poodles actually originated in Germany. They were retrieving dogs. The hunters there used them. They would go shoot the ducks, and the dogs would jump in the water because of their thick coats. They wouldn't get cold or anything. And because of their intelligence, the breed became popular in France. The French aristocrats loved them because they were great with their children. They were very intelligent. And then they became integrated into the circuses because they were so intelligent and people liked them. But they were actually called puddles in German. Then the French changed the name to poodles. So
And
that's
what's
how we got the French poodle.
Obviously poodles are great with, these are great family dogs.
As you can see,
Right,
kids, they're great
right.
with kids. They're very intelligent, very intelligent. As a matter of fact, Buddy, he's actually an obedience dog. He was an agility champion. He is a therapy dog also now, so we take him to homes and hospitals, and he's still working, and these dogs are great. They're great with kids, great with families, very intelligent. And
Now,
they
if
don't
somebody's
shed.
looking to get a dog, a family's looking to get a dog, what should they know pro and con to getting a dog like this?
Pro, they're very intelligent. They're good with the families. Cons, they do have to be groomed, so that's why they don't shed. You have to take them to groomers and have them trimmed every so many months.
Okay.
That's the main con. Exercise-wise, they require exercise. If you get a dog like this size, a standard poodle, you probably need some area for them to run in. When you get a dog this size or smaller, he could turn the house into a racetrack. So he gets his exercise in the house, or we take him out and he can run through parks for miles.
We're going to bring our next dog on, and it's Scooter.
Scooter's a miniature schnauzer, and the schnauzer breed actually originated in Germany about the 15th or 16th century, and the name schnauzer comes from the German word schnaut, because their nose is very prominent with the beard on them, so that's why they call them schnauzers.
And I would think you have to groom a dog like that a lot also,
he
right?
has to be groomed because he's also a hypoallergenic dog. He doesn't shed, so he has to be groomed.
I notice a trend here.
Yes.
Are there dogs that...
We'll see a few.
Okay.
I'm just going to get to
The
them.
bulldog does.
Okay.
Bulldog does shed.
saw that.
But Scooter is very intelligent, very loving, very loyal to the family, and a great watchdog also. Scooter actually was a rescue dog because his family, his mommy passed away, and Scooter needed a home. And so my aunt adopted Scooter, and they adapt very quickly to the family, and they're very easily social and very intelligent.
And how old is Scooter? And is this...
Scooter's 9 years old.
Okay. So this is the size, obviously.
This is the size
They
he's
grow
going to
up
get.
big.
This is a
That's
miniature
nice.
poodle, just like our dog is a miniature poodle. He's a miniature schnauzer.
Oh, great. Well,
Great dog.
there you go. Okay, next we're going to have Kathleen come on in. Come on, Kathleen. You have, it looks like Pete.
Pete's a border collie.
Okay, come on up here.
This is one phenomenal breed. The reason they call it a border collie is because the Scotch originated this breed on the border between England and Scotland. In Scotland proper, they had a working dog they called the Scottish collie, which was now called just a collie. And
Yeah, this is great. Nancy, you're going to the
Pete,
direction
you
here,
can see
but
it has has an obsession with his ball.
Well,
These are working dogs. They do this. They love to work. His idea right now of work is his ball. If you had some sheep in here, he'd be pushing the sheep around. If you had an agility course, he could be a world champion agility dog. These dogs are phenomenal working dogs.
So these dogs need a lot of exercise.
They
you
are
got to get out.
heavy exercise dogs. They do need exercise. They need a job more than even exercise. You don't just set them out in a yard and let them run. You need to work with them. They need to work for you. He's getting this ball for her.
So this dog,
He's putting the ball down so
are they
we'll
a
move
farm,
it.
or I mean, where?
They originated in farms.
Okay.
Their job was to herd sheep. It's all about doing a job and checking back.
Well, how about as a pet then? How are they with families and kids?
They're great as long as you had an intention of working the dog.
Okay.
So this is a typical dog for a person that does agility or obedience or any other sport with the dog. They get this dog, they'll work him for half an hour a day. That's what they need. Give them half an hour, 20 minutes, an hour a day, and that pretty much takes care of it. The dog knows they've got a purpose, they know they've got a function, and they're phenomenal. They don't come into our office for anything unless they're hit by a car.
Right.
This is one healthy breed, very natural, built for speed, built for endurance, and built to stay healthy, and a giant brain. The 3 smartest dogs, supposedly, and there's different ways of measuring intelligence, but the 3 that we usually think of as the smartest dogs are the Border Collie, the Poodle, and the German Shepherd.
Okay.
But anybody with any breed will disagree with all that.
Right, because
Okay.
they always think
Every breed's the smartest.
Is there a con to it? Well, you did say that they have to be work, but
the grooming with them is mainly about brushing them.
Right.
Sometimes you take them into a groomer and they'll strip the coat, take some of the fur out. You're going to get some shedding with this dog.
They do shed.
Yes, some heavy shedding with this dog. But they're gorgeous and they're physical specimens.
okay.
This is a Labrador Retriever. The Labrador Retriever originated in Labrador, northeastern Canada. It's a cold weather dog, but it can handle warm weather as well. It does shed. Once again, it has become the most popular dog in England, the United States, Australia, and Canada. And it's pretty obvious why. It's a solid, healthy, medium-sized dog, not too gigantic, certainly not small. Generally very friendly, usually very good with families. It's a well-built, well-thought-out breed.
Okay, I've noticed it shed, so what are the cons besides that?
Okay, the main
Why are you
the
laughing?
main con,
I'm bringing up a point.
It depends. It depends.
It's not a negative, I'm just stating a fact.
You asked about shedding dogs, so we got them.
Yeah, I know.
It depends. It depends upon the dog. Once again, when you pick a dog, you need to pick an individual. The breed gives you an idea as to what you might expect and what's likely, but you still have to look at the individual. If you happen to take a puppy and it's shy about having its face touched and it's scared and it's snapping, then this may be a dog that'll be unfriendly and maybe a biter when it gets older. If it's reactive, you touch it and it goes berserkoid every time you get near it, then that's a dog that's going to be harder to train. But as a breed, they tend to be fairly gentle, fairly active. This is a great example. Nice dog. You can trust him. He's here with strangers. He's fine with it. He doesn't attack my little dog here.
Oh, I noticed that.
He was good with my granddaughter.
What do we have here?
This is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. This is the smallest of the Spaniels.
I like this dog.
This dog was bred with one purpose in mind, to be a companion for a family. That was its exact purpose. It has been used for some hunting. It's a spaniel, meaning that it could go out, find birds, and retrieve them if you decide to shoot them. But the breed, for the most part, was not meant for that and has not meant to be doing that for about 300 years.
Is it a lot of work to have one of these, or I mean?
Well, there's grooming.
dogs are work-
as usual.
right.
There's grooming. There's training. These dogs train well. They're intelligent. They show up very well in the obedience circles and in the agility circles. The main reason why they're nice to train is because they care. Even if they don't know you, they still care what you think and that you pet them and that you give them treats. So they will work for you almost whoever you are. They're really a nice breed. They're also one of the breeds that seems to get along with other dogs very, very well. So if you have multiple dogs, this is a dog you could add on pretty nicely. They know how to please everybody. They try not to create waves when they get into a household.
No, we sort of touched on this in the first segment, but
Yes.
let me ask, are there certain dogs that are good for if you're seniors than a family with
Yes.
a young family with kids?
Yeah, so one thing, if you're a senior, you probably don't want the largest dog. I mean, I look at myself at this point. In 15 years, if I had a dog that was, they got to be 15 years old, I wouldn't want them to be 130 pounds because I'd have trouble lifting them in another 15 years. So I'd say usually when you're a senior, you like a fairly easy, non-fragile dog. This is a very good example. This is a dog, also, if you have a problem and you have family members coming over to take care of you, it's not going to stand there and probably go out of its way to attack people because they're trying to help you put in an IV catheter or something.
Okay.
These dogs are very nice.
Okay.
It's a great breed.
We have 3 more guests. Doc, what do we have first?
This is Sailor, who is a Shih Tzu. The Shih Tzu is definitely a dog that's very good with children. Really sweet, gentle dogs. The interesting thing about them is when they do genetics on them, they find that this dog is probably one of the most closely related to the wolf.
And we notice obviously great with kids.
Great with kids.
Great with kids.
And Chloe is our model holding her dog.
Okay. Okay, Chloe, bring in our next dog. This is Nadia.
And
What is
yes,
Nadia?
Nadia is a miniature pinscher. She is a toy dog. Very sweet, this one. This breed can vary. Some of them can be a little bit feisty. Some of them can be very friendly. So if you pick one and you want a friendly one, you've got to pick for that in the puppy and then train it to be that.
Okay, and is there a con to a dog like this?
They're very small. They vary in size. Some of them are a little more sturdy. Some of them are more fragile.
So if you have a 2 or 3-year-old, like we mentioned
Child
in the beginning.
may be a problem, yes.
Okay. And Renee, why don't we bring in
Apollo.
Apollo, a pit bull. Now, a lot of misconceptions about pit bulls, I assume.
Yes.
And
Well,
you're gonna
pit bulls are powerful dogs. No
So we're gonna try and
misconception about that.
Bring them up to here if we can, so we can get a look.
Most of them are fairly high energy, as this guy clearly shows.
Okay.
Most of them are actually friendly, but they were bred originally to kill dogs. So I wouldn't have my dog here, this little guy, around him if he was such a killer, and this
Right.
one is not.
Right.
You have to know your dog, train it. Most of the pit bulls that I see, really good dogs and good with people, they are an energetic dog.
I was going to say a little more hyper than the previous 10 or 11 or 15 we've just seen, but
Maybe the Min Pin in his prime, her prime, could match this for energy. This is a terrier breed. What happened was when the bulldog I mentioned before, when it was the Old English Bulldog was turned into the bulldog we now see, they took that Old English Bulldog and also bred it to a terrier to make the Bull Terrier. And then they used to fight them in pits, so they were called a Pit Bull Terrier.
Oh, there we
and
go.
the name stuck. Now they don't fight them anymore, or decent people don't, but the breed is built for sturdiness, endurance.
They're very intelligent. You see, he loves kids, but they do need training. And Renee actually we have trainers. One of them is Carl and Irene Johnson. They're excellent trainers. If people want to know the names or the phone numbers of these trainers, just call our animal hospital for them. But Carl and Irene did an excellent job of training Apollo, and so did Renee. But wonderful dog. He loves other dogs, loves kids. He's very sweet, but they do need training.
okay,
That's one
Bernadette
thing.
Lee, thank you very much.
Our pleasure.
Renee, Chloe, thank you very much. For everybody here, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.